Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight I'm going to look at the Marvel Select cable from Diamond Select, and this is going to be one of those few and far between videos where I may get a little bit negative. The cable's one of those figures you want to like. I really want to like him, and there's some good points here. I do like a couple things, but the negatives just kind of outweigh everything else that's good about this figure. He's in the standard Marvel Select packaging. Pretty cool picture on the side. Picture of the figure on the back with a bio. This thing's huge. I'll get the good things out of the way real quick, because it's going to be quick. Pretty much the sculpting and the paint is what I like about this figure. The sculpting on the face, yeah, it looks a little bit like Ron Perlman, but it's very cable-ish. The shoulder harnesses, the pouches, the ammo, the armor bits, the cable arm. It's all really good, and the back is the same. The paint is really good. It emphasizes the sculpt, which is excellent on this figure. But getting to the bad points, you cannot do anything with this figure, hardly. I mean, sure, you can get some poses out of the legs. From the waist down, he's pretty good. He's got, all the standard articulation that you would want. I'll go through that here in a minute. The feet are kind of odd. But above the waist, useless is what I'm going to say about Cable. This is as far down as the arms go. The shoulders are just sunk too far into the body. It will not go down at all. And yeah, Cable's a big guy. He's buff. But still, I would like arms that go down. I would also like arms that, swivel. There's no swivel anywhere in the arm. It was easy enough to add an elbow swivel at least, if they weren't going to give us a upper swivel above the bicep. But there's nothing here. The other thing, this harness, or the big shoulder harness up top, it's just, a tough plastic. I mean, this is really hard, and it blocks all neck movement. Sure, you get some side to side, but you get no up and no down. His chin hits right there on the front of the harness. And then back, it doesn't hit the harness, but there's no articulation. I mean, the range right there is really limited. So you get about this much. There's no ab joint, but the waist being where it is, and with all this harness and everything up on it, it makes the body look out of proportion, because the belt had to be high enough to be on the swivel. So you get old man butt, you get the legs looking too long, the torso too short. And I've seen pictures of people taking this harness off, and it looks pretty good, but with the harness on, it looks like his shoulders track in about right here, and then his head's really high up. The harness is essentially swallowing his head and his shoulders. It's just way too thick, way too big. It looks great, but it makes him pretty useless. Okay, articulation-wise, we've already went over the head. Not a lot of movement there. It is on a ball, but that's all you're going to get. The shoulders are hinge and swivel. It hinges out about that far. But swivel, because of the shoulder harness, you can't get any further up than that. You can't get any further back than this. Just really limiting. Hinge elbow, it doesn't get quite 90. The wrist seems like it's on a ball, but it may be just a peg that's loose. It's just a peg that's kind of floppy inside the hole. So you get some swivel, and you get just the slightest amount of side-to-side movement. Nothing in the torso. You got a swivel at the waist. Now, like I said, below the waist, all the articulation's there. You have a hinge out, hinge back. You have a kind of a DC Universe Classics type joint for the swing out, which with the peg exposed is kind of, noticeable. But that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. You have a swivel above the straps here on the thighs. You have double knees, which makes the arms much more disappointing. You have a hinge at the ankle. And then you do have rocker ankle action, but it almost seems like the peg is angled too far down. So it swings out, but it doesn't get it does, but it's just kind of oddball from what we're used to on Marvel Legends, or what we saw on Thor, which was a great figure, which makes Cable all the more disappointing. You get forward really good on this foot, which is another oddball thing, because this foot, the clearance for the hinge is not as much as the clearance on this foot. So you get this far up on this one and this far up on this one. Then you get back and back. Which the armors are different on both shins. So, I mean, but it's just noticeable. You can just see that. Now, the accessories that come with this guy, he comes with a lot of guns, which is cool. It's Cable. He's supposed to come with big, futuristic-looking guns. This gun is, again, essentially useless. I'm guessing this is supposed to go on the shoulder mount somehow, but it's not tight. I've seen people mount it here, either like this or like this, but there's nothing to hold it there. And the handle is just a smooth, there's nothing for the hand to grip onto, because the hands are just kind of loose around both guns. This one's worse. The right hand is terrible for somebody that's supposed to hold guns. I tried to squeeze these prongs together a little bit, and I snapped this side. You can see it kind of splitting right there. And even though it angled it in a little bit, it does nothing to help put the gun up on the shoulder. He comes with two pistols. I'm not quite sure what the holes are right here, but they're there, and it doesn't bug me too much. It's just an oddball thing. Now these go in his hands pretty good. You just got to maneuver it and position it just right for them to go in. And they also go in the holsters. Well, one holster. This holster holds it pretty good. Squeezes down on it. This holster's a bit loose, so you shake it around, and now you're not going to fall out. Anyway, in the holsters it looks pretty good, because, you know, the holster flares out to hold the gun. I'm good with that. Without the guns in it, it looks kind of oddball, like he has two metal pieces hanging off his thighs. He comes with a knife. The knife goes in the left hand, and you gotta kind of twist it until it sticks in there. I've got it backwards. See, the hands are terrible for gripping. But if not, he has a sheath for it on his back, which it makes the handle stick out when you're looking at him from the front. I don't like it too much. Again, there's a hole in the handle. I don't know why. In the package, he came with this gun inside a holster, inside this holster. I'm not quite sure what that's about. I don't know if it's an or to make it fit that holster, because there's no hole on this holster, or any kind of peg or clip, hook, anything to put it anywhere else on the body. But this gun does come out, but given Cable's hands are splayed out like they are, the gun doesn't like to stay. Prove me wrong again, Nathan. And then he comes with the BFG, which is cool. All these guns are pretty much casting gray, like a gunmetal gray, and then it has some dark shading around it. I like the guns. They're Cable guns. They look good with him. Now, if Cable could hold them. This gun, since it's huge, you know, we're used to seeing Cable holding this big gun, both hands just waylaying. With the arms like they are, he can't hold both guns, or he can't hold the gun with both hands. If you have the gun, if you have the arm out straight, it kind of holds it, but you kind of have to jam it up, bend his elbow, and just jam the gun up under his to make him hold it. So, again, kind of disappointing. And then he comes with this base. The base is pretty cool. The bricks, the strife cape, strife shoulder pad, strife helmet. All in all, I do like the base, but I I look at the mask for strife, and it's small. You compare it to the, you know, Select head size for Cable, and it almost looks like a child's mask. And it's way smaller than the actual Marvel Legends strife that they just came out with. Now, Cable does fit really well in your Marvel Select collection. His head may be a little small, especially compared to the old Cyclops, who is kind of out of proportion anyway. But he's taller. He's not as tall as Colossus. He'll work on your Marvel Select shelf. And he's not going to work so well on your Marvel Legends shelf. He's just too huge. Radioactive Man's, you know, going to the bigger size of Marvel Legends scale, and Cable just towers right over him. But, interestingly enough, Cable's head is smaller than Radioactive Man's. So, custom fodder maybe? I've seen people using the old Marvel Legends Cable shoulder pads on this figure, and I'm sure we'll see some customs later using maybe this body, this head, the old Marvel Legends shoulder harness, and some of these weapons, because the weapons are cool. Now, you guys know me. I don't rip on figures just for, you know, the hell of it. If I buy a figure, I buy it because I like it. And when I ordered this, I you know, we were just going by pictures, that kind of thing. I figured I would like it. And if my display was, you know, mostly Marvel Select, or, you know what, I'm not even gonna lie. I hate this figure. I want to like it, but I can't. I cannot do it. As soon as I pick it up, it just pisses me off. Yeah, buy it if you're a Marvel Select collector. Nobody's gonna think twice about it. For me, personally, this is just going to be fodder or going to bin. So, I apologize. But, if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the Fwoosh. I keep saying works for me, but this figure completely works for me. I can't get enough of this guy already, and I've had him open for 10 minutes. Well, I mean, even in an at ease pose, he can hold his hammer just hanging down. And, I can't think of anything that we've seen that on, but just at rest Thor. Oh, I so dig it.